I mean, there's studies showing that people who have been abused as children are 5 to 10 to 15 times more likely to become psychotic. Poverty is the kind of the cause of the causes.
It begins with the denial of childhood trauma.
Isolation, the absence of warmth and intimacy, particularly early on in life.
Any illness, we can trace it back to negative childhood experience and its physiological and psychophysiological impact.
Ayo, since Tyler was deprived of his father, but never felt the need to weep or even cry in his slobber. In fact, it made his mind sharper, brain wiser and smarter. Eyes of a martyr, from a past of hiding the horror, divided and conquer. Nothing that his mind couldn't ponder. Rest his soul, skeptical, like why even bother? No male role model to look up to for goddess. Just his sister and his poor mother, stuck in the project, struggling jobless. Applied but luckless with options, nothing but nonsense, living thoughtless and unconscious. In Tyler's eyes, his mom's a queen and a goddess, while his sister's unseen, always dealing with problems, always yielding the drama, behaviors out of control, hurting the feelings of mama, screaming as loud as can go. Oh, an overtone of a broken home, so alone from depression, you could sense it in his vocal tone, until his misery was overthrown by a forward thrown, passive acceptance into the golden zone. Popularity was the main result, a constant therapy, you burying enemies when his anger showed. A dangerous cold, the thugs, hoes, and drugs sold, cutthroats who joined gangs through blood oaths, felt the dominance when clutching on the gun, but all of this boosted confidence was nothing but a front, an illusion of prominence used to help him along, the only home he had in which he ever felt he belonged, till a weapon was drawn with the intention of harm. All of a sudden his gun and thug obsession was gone, once the bullets ricocheted in the direction of Vaughn, chipping bones, ripping off chunks of flesh from his arm for 10 minutes long, fired back and fled in the van, with Tyler's hand shaking, shell shock, stressed in the trance, desperately ran after ditching the van to escape from the fire, sit on the evidence to vanish the trace, plan to embrace an outlaw's life to the fullest. The next steps to grab a mass knife and some bullets, but Tyler just couldn't continue the violence and wouldn't be able to keep quiet in the silence to shush it, so he turned himself in to confess the crimes, didn't snitch on his boys to protect their lives, sent to juvie hall for all arrests combined, from assault to manslaughter, and accepted the time, pressured his mind, thinking to remember the pain, couldn't disconnect from guilt, couldn't sever the shame, only himself with a blade, stuck in the cell like a grave, and from that day on his life was never the same, cause life never turns out the way that it seems. Overnight it can flip at 180 degrees. Watch your dreams and aspirations float away in the breeze, as you dwell on past actions while you pray on your knees. Damn, you're fronting fear while embracing the pain, covered tears from the shame and the strain on his brain, wishing he could go back when every day was the same, before it flipped and his whole situation was changed. Yo, so after being incarcerated for 7 years, he gained his freedom, authoritative towards any fears, conquered obstacles and celebrated many cheers, but never got into contact with any friendly peers, erased his memories and started a clean slate, escaped from his felonies and caught an extreme break, took advantage of the hands of Christ, but never took for granted ever getting a second chance at life, to find faith through the miracles, invited in a witness to God's grace and spiritual enlightenment, ready to make amends and peace with his past, by acknowledging all the family tree pieces he had, especially now that he's successful with good reason to brag, and a stranger to all the pain that he seemed to have had. With that, a brother or dad had to uncover the scab, let it heal on its own, learn to love and adapt, but was shocked when he called to discover the facts, that his sister was in rehab and his mother had passed, hung up the payphone, took the road all of the way home, visited his mother, placed a rose on a gravestone, paid his respects as a kid reminiscing, then went to the facility to pay his sister a visit, which was interesting cause she claims to be a battered mother, a very lonely only child and didn't have a brother, until she saw Tyler walk in the room, she stared shocked at how handsome and tall that he grew, and all the view, impressed by his gentleman's praise, while his sister reeked of a stench of a terrible taste, she looked drugged up, defeated, disheveled in age, brain fried and unable to remember the days, amazed at how much better that he turned out than her, thinking it was a blessing to get arrested for sure, and then his sister said, there's something I gotta confess, breast cancer ain't the only thing to get off my chest, when I was 13, became a free-based blonde, at 14, gave birth as a teenage mom, but your father's too irresponsible to come in a rubber, not to mention the cowardly, self-destructible lover, but I couldn't afford the abortion by the summer, so I had you as a son, but treated you like a brother, and I know it's hard to swallow and tough to discover, but I'm not your sister Ty, I'm your dysfunctional mother, cause life never turns out the way that it seems, overnight it can flip at 180 degrees, watch your dreams and aspirations float away in the breeze, as you dwell on past actions while you pray on your knees. Damn, you're fronting fear while embracing the pain, covered tears from the shame and the strain on his brain, wishing he could go back when every day was the same, before it flipped and his whole situation was changed, cause life never turns out the way that it seems, overnight it can flip at 180.
According to my research and my experience and those of others, any illness whether it's multiple sclerosis or ALS or rheumatoid arthritis or Crohn's, colitis, chronic fatigue, cancers of all kinds. We can trace it back to negative childhood experience and its physiological and psychophysiological impact. Now, most physicians haven't got a clue about that. They don't even know, even when you present them with the actual evidence, of which there's an overwhelming amount, they just don't know what to do with it.